Welcome, Cynthia and Dan. I'm delighted to be with you both today. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Nisa, for inviting us on the show.
So tell us a little bit more about Bit.com and Matrixport and its connection with Bitmain.
Yeah. Cynthia, you want to take this part?
Sure. So Matrixport, we are a spin-off from Bitmain in February last year. So Dan and myself, before we started Matrixport together with Jihan and John, we actually were working at Bitmain, building some of the building blocks that lead to our venture into Matrixport. That, of course, they already built a very successful business at Bitmain and built that into the largest Bitcoin mining equipment manufacturer. And they do see that the industry is evolving fast, and with more people like holding Bitcoin and other type of mined crypto assets, they're actually looking for a more better service on the crypto financial crypto finance side. So basically, we believe this is going to be a market that is going to see exponential growth. So in end of 2018, we basically made that decision that we want to properly develop this part of the business, which is crypto financial services. So we then decided that we want to spin off and have a full focus on this part of the new business. So when we spin off from Bitmain, we had around 70 people that we brought over from Bitmain. Of course, the team is much, much bigger now. We are 165 people globally, globally headquartered in Singapore and having offices in Hong Kong, in Switzerland, in Moscow. And some have developed a team in China as well.
And you're primarily targeting professional customers. How deep does your liquidity go, Dan?
Yeah, thank you for the question. First of all, you're right. So at this moment, we are more focused on the professional customers. We do have strategy for retailers actually in the months to come, but I would say it's pretty good for a new exchange, to be honest. So on the future side, we generally have $6 to $10 million of depths on the order book. And for options, we have roughly 250 strikes. And on each strike, normally we have order book depths of $1 million. So it has been a good amount of liquidity per our customers, and that's also why we're growing substantially in the past 1 month.
And how sophisticated are you seeing these users becoming with options versus futures?
Right. Well, I think it's really, I think you're asking about retail, right? Not professional.
Yeah,
which
for retail.
Retail customer. Yeah, I think it's the future product is much more natural for them because it is just a leveraged spot to them, right? If just thinking from retail's perspective, it's a linear transformation. But options, given the non-linearity, it can get a little confusing. So at this moment, I think not only with us, with everyone, all the retail products in the cryptocurrency world, I think most of the retail customers, they understand how to use structured products to earn money, which is embedded with options, but it's generally difficult for them to understand how to just use option as a product to trade and how to trade it. It's generally very few people know. So that is definitely a big workload we need to focus on in the next year in part of our retail strategy. That is, we need to provide quality content to help retailers understand how to use this product.
And how far out in terms of expiry do you go? How liquid are the contracts?
Yeah, so I think, so our contracts go from 1 day options to roughly 3 months options. So liquidity mostly resides within 1 month.
So Cynthia, with your ties to Bitmain and miners becoming ever more sophisticated in their hedging strategies, what are you seeing from that part of the market?
Yeah, sure. As we are spin-off from Bitmain and quite familiar with mining communities globally, I mean, they are part of a very important part of our clientele. I would say that in the crypto mining space, all the miners are evolving really fast. I mean, I would say that evolve at a light speed compared to some traditional commodity miners. So not only in mining operations, but also in terms of their financial savviness. A lot of the miners, both from China and in the West, are picking up the idea of hedging and risk management pretty fast in the past 1 year, especially in the past 1 year. I think after the March 12th, when market crashed, a lot of the miners actually had a very hard hit. And they started to realize the importance to protect against the downside risk. So they start to adopt that mindset that they don't mind paying a small cost to buy the insurance, and they understand the importance to be in the game for the long term, and that which means that they need hedging. So we see a lot of that coming to the market after this year. A lot of that flows. I would say in Asia, like the miners like to buy straight put options, sell covered calls, or do both at the same time. And like for example, for us, we have a product called dual currency product, basically help the miners to sell covered calls and puts to collect the premium. I think that's become one of the very popular products. And we do see a lot of miners make use of that as a way to hedge. And also we provide zero cost loan. Basically it provides, no cost, zero interest lending to the miners, but they have to give up certain price upside beyond certain exercise price. And that become also very popular. I think Asia really, there's a big room to grow for the structured product, and the miners, they are understanding it pretty fast and well.
Do you also offer advisory or OTC services?
Yeah, we do offer OTC services from the very beginning. So I think actually Dan built that part of the business up when we were still at Bitmain, and when we spin off, of course, we took that part of the services into Matrixport and offer it as one of our basic services. So on the OTC part is pretty steady business for us. I think we're trading around 100 million US dollar notionals on the spot side. We're currently not doing advisory as a business, but as part of our structured solutions and hedging services, we do share our professional knowledges and help advise our clients on what hedging strategies would work better for them for their scenarios whenever they need. But it's not.
So Dan, in Asia, SBI has been heavily investing in the space for a while now. Are there any other major financial services firms that are entering the market?
Right. So yeah, SBI has been active. I think in Asia, honestly, it's mainly the crypto native companies that's been taking the spotlight. There's also companies in Hong Kong, Singapore that have traditional finance background. They're founding new, funds, quantitative trading funds. But in general, it's been evolving, but not that we have seen a big company like that yet.
And what do you think?
Yeah, I will say, just to add up to Dan's comment. Yeah, I think that's right. In terms of crypto financial services, we see definitely traditional hedge fund coming to crypto and start their crypto branch. We see some family offices tip their toes into this asset class. We see proprietary trading desks trading, actually already very actively trading in this space or market making. But in terms of those internet giants or like traditional financial service provider, I think SBI, as you mentioned, is one. The other players, I think a lot of them are not yet in crypto finance, but they are in blockchain technologies. So like South Korea internet company Kakao, they have public blockchain Clayton. And in China, the Baidu, Alibaba, Tencent, they all have their enterprise blockchain solutions. And in Singapore, and I think last month or this month, SGX, Singapore Exchange, they partners with HSBC and Temasek Holding to issue digitize the whole end-to-end bond insurance process on DLT. And I think in China, there's some traditional conglomerates that get into crypto, and they offer their crypto franchise hash key. And the other involvement are mainly from the private equity and the VC side. You see a lot of banks, their private equity arm are definitely getting more active in investing into crypto-related companies. Yeah.
Do you see any impact from the digital yuan on the overall market?
Overall market, you mean, just to be specific, you mean on crypto itself, or
yes.
like?
Yes, and also China's stance on trading crypto.
Sure, I can talk about that. I think in China, the crypto, is always defined as a liquid asset and a virtual commodity, but not a money. So that's very important difference compared to some other jurisdictions, which I think tells a lot about the stance of the Chinese government. I would say that China has not prohibited the crypto outright, but and actually in November last year, the authority of Chinese government actually said that Bitcoin mining will not be an illegal industry in the country, which I think gives a relief on people who worry about the sustainability of Bitcoin mining in China. But China prohibits token funding and also trading platforms from engaging in exchange business between the RMB, the legal tender of the country, and the cryptocurrencies. So I think that's still going to be the case going forward, because there's capital control in China. I don't think in the near term there will be any change of policy in that part. Yeah.
And with DeFi being all the rage right now and volumes on DEXs skyrocketing, what do centralized exchanges need to keep their eye on most, and what are your plans in the area?
Sure.
Yeah, Cynthia, you want to take it?
Yeah, sure. DeFi definitely still the spotlight of the year. And we have seen, I think, close to or passing like 10 billion total value locked in the DeFi protocols, which is quite amazing. I think, in the past 2 years, of course, the DeFi already doing a lot of preparation work, but I guess a lot of the DeFi projects themselves didn't expect such an explosive attention this year. It definitely become very, very interesting phenomenon. For us, we've been observing it from the very beginning. Last year we started to pay attention to this area, and this year we have actually been the first centralized platform integrate with Compound before their liquidity mining actually, and then we also offered our liquidity mining as a service, basically, product on our Matrixport app, which we help our users to take all the hassles and help our users to mine liquidities and get a yield higher than normal yield in those DeFi projects. And we've been participating in Curve, in YFV, and some other protocols. We are constantly looking closely and talking with the hottest DeFi projects in the space, trying to offer that as a service on our platform. And I think we're not alone, because you definitely see the top exchanges and centralized platforms in Asia are embracing this trend and trying to incorporate the yield as one of their new feature or product and offer it to their existing users. I think that trend is probably going to carry on.
Thank you so much to both of you for joining us today, and we look forward to more great news coming out of your company.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you, Nisa, for having